This is Warren's Most Liked segment, in which you can share how you got started with Android, the problems you had along the way, and much more. If you don't know what to say, we'll help you along the way.
And now we move to our My Android Journey section to close the podcast. And I'm delighted this week to say that we're joined by Christian F Jensen from Denmark, who you've heard from a couple of times already. Christian, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Christian, and I am 33 years old and am living in Denmark. My girlfriend and daughter, she is 5 years, my little daughter. And I have my YouTube channel on English. You will probably call it Visual Impaired Teknik. On Danish, it is synshandicappedes teknik. And the content on my YouTube channel is primarily on Danish. Because there's no one else who had a YouTube channel here in Denmark before. I started one for 3.5 years ago. And the content is all about digital, talkback, Android stuff, reviews, unboxing, and voice over Mac, iPhone. So a lot of things, and it's only myself who's working with this. But it's not my primary work. I'm making massage, and I've done that in 11 years now.
Nice. It sounds like you've got your hands full. My daughter's 7, so I know what that must be like.
So it's sometimes hard work, but it's also nice and lovely to have a girl.
Yeah, definitely. Good to have women folk. And now here is Christian's Android journey.
Hey folks, Christian here from Denmark. What you are going to hear now is my Android story. Let's go back in the time, more exactly back to December 2018. This is where I got my first Android smartphone ever. I changed job and got an option to get a work phone. And since I wanted to try another phone than an iPhone, I picked up a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 because of great reviews and positive mention of Samsung's devices. The building materials was Gorilla Glass 5 at the front and the back. It got a aluminum frame, dual camera on the back, and below these, a fingerprint sensor. At the bottom, there was an S Pen, which can be used for various tasks, and also a USB-C port and 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right side, on the phone, there was a side key. At the left side, there was a volume keys up and down, and under these, there was a Bixby key. The Bixby key I signed to so I can press a single time on it so it launched Google Assistant. It was nice and I love this function. I like the design on my Galaxy Note 9. It has a very premium build quality and it was great to hold in my hands. Especially I love the 6.4-inch screen. The color it was picked in was black. And the model I chose has 128 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. The processor was Samsung's own Exynos 9810, and my Galaxy Note 9 was a great Android start. It comes out of the box with Android 8.1, and I was happy my Galaxy Note 9 as my first Android device. The device responded faster than first expected. The 4000 mAh battery was great to different tasks. When I turned the phone on for the first time, the screen reader I have to activate was not TalkBack, but Samsung's own screen reader voice assistant. But after the setup process, it was an option to use Google TalkBack as my primary screen reader. I tried to forget comparison with the voiceover screen reader on iOS, but it was a hard go for me. But yeah, I got to know TalkBack better, so I forget everything about voiceover and learn a lot about TalkBack and how to use it. And I love to use a Galaxy Note 9 as my primary phone. A year later, it was time for a new phone again, and this time the phone was a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, primary because of better specifications and hardware. The building materials this time was Gorilla Glass 6 at the front and the back, so an upgrade from the Note 9's Gorilla 5 glass. Not a big upgrade, but a little bit. It got also an aluminum frame, a little upgrade to the camera from dual now to triple camera at the back. At the bottom, there was also an S Pen and a USB-C port. At the left side, the volume keys was located and also the side key, and nothing on the right side. And it frustrated me in some situations because I had always loved to have the side key on the right side. It was not a big problem for me that the volume keys is on the left side, but at the side key was located on the left side, I have to use my phone long time before it got normally for me that the side key was on the left side. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus have a very beautiful design, but I love more the design of the Galaxy Note 9. The fingerprint sensor was located under the screen and often performed well. Sometimes the screen will not unlock, but 8 out of 10 times the fingerprint reader will unlock my phone with my finger. The screen on this model has grown from 6.4 inches to 6.8 inches, and I love this big screen. As a blind person, I can't see the screen, but I quite simply have a weakness for large screens with premium specifications. And the Galaxy Note 10 Plus come out of the box with Android 9 and One UI 1.5. The color I ordered my Galaxy Note 10 Plus in was in Aura Glow, and depending on light, the color can shine in several shades. It got a 256 GB of storage and 12 GB of RAM. The processor was Samsung's Exynos 9825 and delivered well. Battery life, I feel, was the same as my Galaxy Note 9. Not even then it had grown a bit, now up to 4300 mAh, but it was okay. However, this did not mean that I was dissatisfied. My Note 10 Plus was used a lot. Everything from sharing data on the go, for streaming Netflix and Disney+, for ordinary social meeting like WhatsApp, Facebook and Twitter, as it was called before it changed name to X. The unboxing experience of my Galaxy Note 10 Plus is the best unboxing experience I ever had on a smartphone. It included a 30-watt charger and USB-C earbuds from AKG. It was also here that Android 10 became official, which means that Samsung waved goodbye to their own screen reader, voice assistant, and thank God it was nice. Samsung partnered with Google and get their own Samsung TalkBack screen reader. Here I found a method so I could uninstall Samsung TalkBack and then use Google TalkBack. And this was the Android phone, which taught me to understand customization of Android much more than I even had thought was possible. 2.5 years later, it was time to replace my beloved Note 10 Plus. Here it became Samsung's premium Galaxy smartphone from 2022. It was the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. It offered the best that Samsung could offer, and I loved it. The build materials this time was Gorilla Glass Victus Plus at the front and the back, so an upgrade from the Note 10 Plus Gorilla Glass 6. It got an aluminum frame also, quad camera lenses at the back. At the bottom there was an S Pen and a USB-C port. Volume keys and side keys was finally placed on the right side only, and nothing at the left side. And a change from my old Samsung phones this time was the back glass was now matte, and it had a very nice finish. It's a design which is more modern. Personally, my S22 Ultra is the Android phone which has the coolest design. The screen was still 6.8 inches with Samsung's fingerprint sensor placed under the screen, and my S22 Ultra was used as all those tasks as my Galaxy Note 10 Plus was used to. However, it happened in February 2023 that I learned to use the Gesture screen reader. Personally, I think it's the best screen reader for an Android device. It came out of the box with Android 12 and One UI 4. The color I ordered my S22 Ultra in was in Phantom Black, which is simply black. It got a 512 GB of storage and 12 GB of memory. The processor was Samsung's Exynos 2200, and it got a 5000 mAh battery and it performed well. However, I could not feel any difference between my Galaxy Note 10 Plus and my S22 Ultra. The month of January this year, it was time for a new Android phone again. And this time it was something completely different before. It was the Google Pixel 8 Pro. Why? I want to try something different than the Samsung Galaxy devices. Because of good reviews from several consumers, both accessibility and good software. One thing that was great was Google TalkBack was the primary screen reader from the start. And setting a Pixel phone up from the start is a simple process. The phone is built with Gorilla Glass Victus 2 at the front and the back. The back is here also matte like on my Galaxy S22 Ultra. It got also a aluminum frame and a triple camera lenses at the back, but the camera design on the Pixel is more different than on the Galaxy devices because of the camera bar. I think it is a nice design, but not everyone likes it, but I like what I see and feel. At the bottom, a USB-C port. Volume keys and side keys are located on the right side and nothing are located on the left. However, I had to get used to the placement on these because of the side key is located at the top and the volume keys are located at the bottom on the right side. Personally, I like the design on my Google Pixel 8 Pro, but my Galaxy S22 Ultra is still my Android phone, which has the coolest design ever. The screen on my Pixel 8 Pro is a 6.7 inch screen. Google has placed a fingerprint sensor under the screen. However, it was not as accurate like on Samsung devices, but it works okay. Google's Pixel 8 Pro delivered what I wanted on an Android smartphone. Tasks are completed without problems. However, I'm missing some of the customization like you can get on a Samsung phone. Good Lock is probably the best example where you can download different Good Lock modules. Out of the box, the Google Pixel 8 Pro comes with Android 14 software, and the Pixel 8 series offered 7 years of software upgrades. It's very many years, and Samsung has just added this to their Samsung Galaxy S24 series. The color I order my Pixel 8 Pro is in Obsidian, which is a black color. It got a 256 GB of storage and 12 GB of memory. The processor is Google's Tensor G3 and actually it performed very well. The 5050 mAh battery performed really good. I can use my Pixel 8 Pro for 2 days before night where it had to be placed on my charger, which is a Pixel stand. As it is right now, I am extremely happy with my Pixel 8 Pro. I don't regret the switch. That said, I could easily go back to Samsung again. This was my Android story. Hope you're enjoying to hear it. Before I end, thank to blind Android users for their podcast and YouTube channel. I'm checking out. See you. Peace.
I was wondering if there are enough Android users, blind Android users there in Denmark. Because I hear that I was talking to someone from Sweden and he said there are not too many Android users.
No, when I beginning to use Android, I only knew about one person who using Android, but not as a primary phone. And as in the video, as in the recording, I said I got an opportunity to pick up a phone Android phone, and there's not so many people here in Denmark who use Android devices. I'm thinking it's because of that we have learned here in Denmark that for 13 years ago, 14 years ago, that voiceover is working and it's a stable screen reader you get, and it's on your iPhone and blah blah blah. And TalkBack at that time was not so stable as it is right now, and Jisoo. But I think we are about 50 persons here in Denmark who are using Android, so it's not.
I have a question for you. You went from a Note 9 to a Note 10 Plus to an S22 Ultra to a Pixel. I'm wondering, how much do you miss the S Pen, or did you use it at all? Because you had the S Pen for a long time, and then now you don't.
If you ask me, the S Pen is only a gadget. It's not a function. It's not something I'm pick out and using like something productive. It's only something. Look what I got. So I don't use it as a functional. Gadget. It is there, but I never use it with some people who can see use it. But it's okay to take in some pictures sometimes when you're starting recording on your phone. But it primarily what's it? And my daughter, she is sometimes drawing, but in the Samsung Notes app with it. But that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I had a feeling, because I haven't, I've had a lot of phones with the S Pen, and I rarely use it. Like you mentioned, it's cool to show off. Like, look, we could take a picture from over here, if we want to, that sort of thing. And you use that maybe twice a year at family gatherings. It's like it's something you don't really. Like you mentioned, you miss a lot of other things about Samsung phones. You mentioned good luck, just the customization. I have. Let me ask you this: what are your chances that your next phone is going to be a Samsung again, or are you going to stick with Pixel?
I think it's not 100% sure that it will be a Samsung, but at the moment, I think my next Android phone will be a Samsung Galaxy phone, unless that Google making some stuff on the Pixel phones. I loving to use MagSafe on an iPhone, and I have it also on my Galaxy with my Pitaka cover. But if they're making key 2 accessible, so I not have to use a cover, because I'm primarily not using cover on my phones. That is something who can make me think to get on Pixel. But at the moment, I will say 90% it will be a Galaxy phone next to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Chi2 also. I have a MagSafe case on my S24 Ultra right now. So once you start using something like that, it's hard to go away from it.
Yeah, it's a nice function, a simple function, but a nice function to have.
And just for clarification purposes, we're talking about Qi2, which is the Android equivalent of MagSafe, which is a wireless charging standard that is magnetic. So the charger automatically aligns your phone so that you don't have to worry about, waking up and realizing your phone the battery is overheated because it wasn't aligned correctly, or it wasn't charging, that sort of thing. But as of now, to my knowledge, no, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any Android phone manufacturer has included it in their phones yet. It's just a standard at this point. So when that happens, it'll be exciting.
They have not. I think I read about a phone who will come with it in the nearest future, but not sure about name.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, they will be compatible with each other, I think. Like if you have a Qi2 phone, you should be able to use MagSafe chargers on it, because MagSafe really is just wireless charging and a magnet. You know, I mean, you might not get the higher speeds of like 15 watts that you get in MagSafe chargers, but it will charge the phone.
You will not get the 15 watts charging if you're using a MagSafe from Apple, but if it's a G2 wireless charger, you will get the 15 watts.
Yeah.
But you need a G2 wireless charger specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, since Denmark is part of European Union, what about the apps from like local Danish apps? Are they accessible enough when you want to use an Android phone? Because you said no.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm using primary. If you're talking about some of the AI apps, so Lookout, Envision AI, Seeing.
No, I
I'm
mean
using
the local Danish apps. I mean,
we
apps and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Of course, like mobile banking, and we have an app who can transfer monies, mobile pay. We have our to read our post. We have something called the digital post and the e-box. So yeah, that's okay. They are better on iOS and iPadOS software, but it's okay on Android if you know how to read your documents, if you have to read your posts.
That's interesting. Does that mean that your post is mainly digital in Denmark? You don't get too many letters through your door?
No, I'm never getting any letters on my door, but so I get it always in my digital service.
Interesting.
So I want to mention that Christian is the translator of Jishua. He's the Danish translator. And I want to ask you a question. Do you recommend Android? Like, okay, you used iOS and Android, and you said that the number of Android users, blind Android users in Denmark, is not that big. So, do you recommend Android to people, and are you trying to demonstrate the features of Android and how to deal with Android on your channel? So you spread the word about Android more.
I try, but a lot of people using their phones, iPhones primarily here in Denmark, and they are accepting what they got and loving it. But I am a person who can see the possibility in Android and thinking, yeah, you got an iPhone, but what you're saying about a phone, you necessarily not need an iPhone. I think it's the Android phone will probably be better for you because of the customization of the software.
Yeah, exactly. It is more customizable, more open, and like also you have a lot of more devices. So yeah, it is something that deserves trying at least.
Here in Denmark, I say if you want to buy Android phone as a blind person who needs to use a screen reader, go with the Google Pixel and Samsung Galaxy and OnePlus phones, because I know they are working. I'm not tried anything else before, so I cannot. But primarily, you can pick up although Xiaomi and Motorola, but I think those three. I'm not saying something wrong.
One of the things that people who don't have English as a first language have discovered when they try and set up a phone from scratch, if it's an Android phone, is either they might not have any TTS at all, or they might have an English text-to-speech engine trying to speak their language. How does that work with Danish? If you buy a phone in Denmark and you turn on TalkBack, will you get a Danish TTS, or you kind of have to muddle through with an English TTS speaking Danish until you can put a cappella or something on it?
At the setup, it will start on English, but when you pick up your country, I remember that the TalkBack is changed to Danish in the setup
Okay,
process.
So Google TTS will find the Danish TTS. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I cannot totally remember it because
I think that's
not
the case when you have your SIM card on.
Yeah, because that's been a thing that's you've written about that on Accessible Android, haven't you, before, Sally and Kieran, about that little glitch.
Yeah, and that's been a heated discussion on the mailing list. People telling, "Oh, well, how come this is missed?"
So Christian, what is the Danish for cheeks?
Tøser.
Tøser.
Close it.
Excellent. Say it again.
Tøser.
Excellent. There we are. We now have the Danish for cheeks.